She loves the bamboo.
Princess line.
Princess vitamin A. Okay.
That's the kind of we should be recording with. Are you recording? No.
Are you? Okay.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sam Bunting, and I'm here today with the delightful Dr. Emma Wedgeworth.
Thank you. Hello.
And we're talking about topics that have been raised on Instagram recently. I asked all of our lovely followers to come up with topics they'd like to see two derms debating. Now, retinoids, Emma, it keeps coming up time and time again. And you know how I feel about retinoids, don't you?
It is a subject close to our heart. I'm glad it keeps coming up. I'm glad
Yeah.
that people are aware of how useful they can be. But
Absolutely.
we're here to debate the relative benefits and the downsides of retinoids, aren't we?
Yes, pros and cons.
Yes.
That's what the people want to know. So, let's do 4 pros and 4 cons, shall we?
Okay.
Give me a
So, pro, they are great for breakouts. So they can actually reduce your chance of breaking out if you use them over time, because they really get to the core of the problem of breakouts. They change the way that your gland is actually producing oil and the way that the duct gets blocked. So that's a fantastic benefit of them.
Absolutely. And I often think that the second benefit is anti-aging, and that's almost a good reason for someone to come to our office in their 20s with acne, because we will get them on a retinoid, get them using it properly with the correctly structured routine around it. And the anti-aging benefits of retinoids are undoubted. And you're now on the best anti-aging regime around without even trying. So a few breakouts in your 20s, not such a bad thing.
No, absolutely. You're getting established on something very useful from the word go.
Yeah, before usually there are any major signs of aging at all, and I think a preemptive strike really stands you in good stead when it comes to the aging process. So, pro number 3. Are you testing you today?
You really are. Very good for pigmentation.
Yeah.
So they actually are shown to reduce pigmentation, and that can be pigmentation from sun exposure, it can be melasma, various different pigmentation.
Even the marks that you get from acne spots.
Exactly.
So again, another reason for staying on them long term after a bad bout of acne.
What about the final pro? What do you think?
Well, I think that's interesting we've come to this point. So I think Pore Clarity. Now, as you get someone better from an acne point of view and an anti-aging point of view, they get closer and closer to the mirror, don't they? And they get more and more obsessed with the fine print. And it's the stuff that I actually say to people, hang on, step away from the mirror, see how others see you, which is at about, hopefully, a couple of meters.
Yeah.
And don't sweat the small stuff too much, because that's the stuff that drives you crazy. And it's also stuff that's quite hard to influence and maybe doesn't matter that much.
No.
But in terms of pore clarity, we do want to keep the pores clear, because that's the route to keeping your acne breakouts at bay long term.
Yes.
So yeah, pore clarity.
But on that vein, can I just say magnifying mirrors? The work of the
Where's the
devil.
bin?
Step away from your magnifying mirror.
Thank you. Yes, same. Right, I think that's us pro'd out.
But what about the downside? Because there's
Downsides.
always a downside of something that works well. So for me, the top downside is the irritancy. So I think at first, these creams, the topical retinoids, can be a bit irritating. You can get a little bit of dryness, sometimes some sensitivity, but that does go away with time in my experience.
Completely. So I think there are different ways of approaching that. You can start gentle, and after 3 months, it's 2 skin cycles build up to a more potent one.
Yes.
And certainly that's the way I tend to approach my prescription creams, especially in the thinner, more sensitive, drier skin types. You can do less frequent, less amount, and build up to more frequent, greater amounts. I mean, I think with these things, ultimately the results are dose dependent. The more you can use and the more frequently you can use it, given that the skin is replacing itself all, continuously, the better.
Yes.
So I think that's where a bit of guidance, perhaps. I think dermatologists do really come into their own when it comes to putting together a prescription retinoid-based skincare program. And I think that little and often really is the key with retinoids.
And supporting your skin from everything else. I couldn't agree more.
So that's con number 1, but hopefully justification for
can get through
continuing.
that.
Yeah, I think so. Con number 2, I think sun sensitivity is a big issue.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I enter into a lot of negotiations at this time of year about whether someone whose acne is now better can go in the sun when they go to Ibiza for the summer.
You know our answer.
Yeah, I know. Nothing has to change. People who live in hot countries use retinoids too. This is a choice you make when you go on a program that keeps your skin clear, prevents a lot of the signs of aging. You know there's going to be a compromise, don't you?
But you will thank us in 20 to 30 years' time because we've sun protected
As we sit here in our very pale, fair skin state.
But your skin will look so much better. I mean, almost 90% of external aging is from the sun. So actually protecting your face particularly is a hugely important aspect of your anti-aging regime. Yeah. So I think, yes, it makes you more sun sensitive, but we can easily protect against the sun with really good products, and it makes so much sense.
And that big old hat.
I love a big old hat.
And the shade. And I think on holidays, getting up for breakfast at lunch works very well. I know kids make it slightly tricky, and I'm sorry for you people with children. I understand that.
Thank you very much.
However, yes, that's where the really big hat comes into.
But also you have to be protecting your children's skin as well. So actually everybody needs to be protecting their skin, so it's fine. So we can do some protection.
Now, number 3. So we do 4.
Pregnancy, you can't use retinoids during pregnancy, and that's really important because vitamin A, which is the backbone of these retinoids, they're not natural, but they're a form of vitamin A, is really important in the way that babies develop. So if you interrupt that, you can cause real problems, so you mustn't use them during pregnancy.
Absolutely. Now, number 4. Oh yes, they do often make you break out at the beginning when you start to use them. There is this kind of catharsis. And I think oftentimes for people, especially with comedonal acne, where there aren't so many red inflamed bumps and whiteheads, but it's just more that sort of subtle bumpiness under the surface of the skin that you see up close, can often look an awful lot worse before they start to look better. And again, I think that we tend to get emails about 3 to 4 weeks in, don't we? We do. Where things have often got better at the beginning because we've taken away their rubbish products. And then the skincare regime starts to work, and then there's this sort of pushing out of what's under the surface, and oftentimes it's a lot more. It's like an iceberg. There's a lot more going on than initially met the eye, and people freak out. So I think that is the time when you really need to hold people's hand through the tough bit. It's a bit like personal training. It hurts before it gets better, people.
Exactly. Or a detox where everything just sort of comes out first.
Yeah. So I think there is a sort of this catharsis of the skin that happens with using a retinoid, but it does get better. And then the continued influence of the retinoid means that you never go back to the situation that you were in before. So persistence pays off in this instance, I think.
And I think persistence is key as well. I think the other slight downside is these things take a little bit of time to work. So we say don't expect to see any results before 8 weeks at least. 8 to 12 weeks is when you're going to see, because actually everything that's happening under the skin happens quite slowly, and then it comes to the surface, and that's when you see it. And the studies have suggested that your spot begins over 8 weeks before you see it anywhere near. What's happening under the skin is that's slowly developing over 2 to 3 months, so be patient with them.
But equally, people haven't gotten to this position usually in 3 months, right? No. It's taken years usually to find their way to our office. And I think to some extent marketing of acne products has really created this illusion that there is a quick fix for acne out there. We use Roaccutane, we're still not really expecting to get major results until 2 to 3 months down the line. So that's the strongest end of the acne treatment kind of ladder. So
you have to be patient. There is no quick fix. It's so
important, isn't it?
But the good news is there is a fix, there just is no quick fix. So you have to keep going with it because it will work.
And planning, you have a wedding coming up. Please give us time. Don't come in with a 2-month window. It's really tough and it stresses us out because we want you to look gorgeous on your big day.
Us out. But if you come at least sort of 4 to 6 months before, we can help.
Cool. I think we've covered retinoids.
We've done retinoids.
I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for your intelligent and insightful questions. A big thank you to the beautiful and very smart Dr. Emma.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed, please subscribe, and we look forward to hearing your comments. Bye for now.
Bye.